You have been sent on a fool's errand, a wild goose chase for a phantom that does not exist. Your entire life, you've been told that your great mission is to find yourself, as if your true self is a lost object, a hidden treasure buried on a secret island, waiting for you to stumble upon it. You've been taught to look for clues, to wait for signs, to hope for a moment of revelation where the real you will finally be discovered. This is the most passive, most powerless, and most paralyzing philosophy you have ever been sold. And it is a lie. Today, the search is over. Because the truth is, there is no you to discover. The person you are looking for does not exist. Not yet. You are not a treasure to be found. You are a masterpiece to be built. So stop trying to discover yourself. Start inventing yourself. This is the great shift from a creature of circumstance to a creator of reality. To search for yourself is to assume that your identity is a fixed, pre-written script. It is to believe that your potential is a finished product, defined by your past, by your personality tests, by the labels the world has given you. It is the mindset of a victim, a passenger, waiting for life to reveal its destination to them. But to invent yourself is the ultimate declaration of freedom. It is a realization that you are not a script. You are the author. You are not the clay. You are the sculptor. You are not the finished product. You are the raw, chaotic, and magnificent potential of the inventor's workshop. This is the mindset of the architect. Your life is not a journey of discovery. It is a journey of creation. And the first and most crucial act of any great invention is the act of imagination, the vision. You must have the supreme audacity to decide who you want to be without any evidence from your past that it is possible. The person you were yesterday is just data. It is not your destiny. The mistakes you made are not a life sentence. They are the research and development phase of your greatest invention. You must have the courage to stand in the laboratory of your own mind, surrounded by the wreckage of your past failures, and see not a tragedy, but a collection of priceless lessons on what not to do. Think of the great inventors. When Thomas Edison set out to create the light bulb, he was not trying to discover a light bulb that was hiding in the dark. He was inventing it. He held a clear, unshakable vision in his mind of a world free from the tyranny of the gas lamp. He was inventing a future. And with every one of his 10,000 failed experiments, he was not discovering that he was a failure. He was inventing a new path to success. He was eliminating the variables. He was sculpting his creation through a relentless process of trial and error. This is the mindset you must adopt. Your identity is not a historical fact. It is an artistic choice. Who do you choose to be, starting now? Do you choose to be the disciplined one, the courageous one, the resilient one? You do not need to wait for proof. You do not need to wait for permission. Your choice, your committed decision, is the only permission you will ever need. This is the power of a true belief. A belief is not a hope. It is a creative act. It is a decision to treat a chosen possibility as a present reality. When you decide to invent a new you, the confident you, the successful you, you must begin to live as if you are already that person. You are not faking it. You are not being inauthentic. You are performing the most authentic act possible, the act of consciously creating your own essence. You are not born with courage. You become courageous by performing courageous acts. You are not born with discipline. You become disciplined by performing disciplined acts. Your actions are the chisel with which you sculpt your new identity. Each time you choose a difficult, disciplined action over the easy, comfortable one, you are not just completing a task. You are casting a vote for the new you. You are chiseling away a piece of the old, limited self and revealing the form of the masterpiece you have chosen to become. This is the true meaning of self-creation. It is a deliberate, conscious, and often difficult process. It requires you to be both the artist and the marble, the inventor and the invention. You must have a clear vision of the final product, and you must have the daily discipline to do the work, to face the resistance, to endure the discomfort of the creative process. This is the path of the architect. It is the understanding that the entire universe is your workshop, and your own consciousness is the most powerful tool within it. You have the raw material of your own potential. You have the imaginative power to draw the blueprint, and you have the freedom in this very moment to take the first action, to make the first mark, and to begin the greatest invention of your life. You have the raw material. You have the blueprint. You have the freedom to begin. And the moment you do, the moment you take the first decisive action to invent a new you, you'll be met by a force as powerful and as ancient as creation itself. That force is called resistance. It is the unseen gravity of your old habits. It is the comfortable inertia of your current identity. It is the voice of your own fear, whispering that you are a fraud, that you are not worthy, that you are destined to fail. And it is the voice of the world, the chorus of the crowd, that will always seek to pull any aspiring individual back down into the safety of the average. Resistance is the dragon at the gate of your own greatness. And your only weapon against it is a purpose so powerful, so clear, and so deeply loved that it becomes a magnificent obsession. Your why must be stronger than your fear. Your vision for your new invention must be more compelling than the comfort of your old self. This is the fuel for your discipline. It is the reason you will get up and do the work, even when every fiber of your being is screaming for you to quit. The process of self-invention is not a single, glorious act. It is a long, difficult, and often frustrating war of attrition against this resistance, and it will be filled with failure. You must understand this. The invention of a new you will require 1,000 failed prototypes. Look at the life of the inventor James Dyson. He had a vision, a vacuum cleaner that would not lose suction, a simple, elegant idea, and he set to work in the small workshop behind his house. His first prototype was a crude cardboard creation. It failed. His second failed. His 10th failed. His 100th failed. His 1,000th failed. For 5 years, he worked in isolation. He was buried in debt. His wife was cutting up their old clothes to make patches for their children. The world saw a man obsessed with a foolish, impossible idea. He built 5,126 prototypes. 5,126 failures. But Dyson did not see them as failures. He was not trying to discover a vacuum cleaner. He was inventing one. And this was the process of invention. Each failed prototype was not a verdict on his ability. It was a priceless piece of data. Each one taught him something he did not know. Each one moved him one step closer to the one design that would work. This is the resilience of the inventor. It is the mindset that separates the creator from the dreamer. It is the ability to see failure not as a personal indictment, but as a necessary part of the research and development process. You must fall in love with the process of building, of testing, of failing, of learning, and of building again. You must become a scientist in the laboratory of your own life. Your actions are your experiments. Your results are your data. When an experiment fails, you do not abandon the laboratory. You analyze the data, you adjust a formula, and you run a new experiment. This is the path of continuous learning. It is the path of the master. You are not your failed habits. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your current circumstances. These are just your old prototypes. They are the data that has brought you to this moment, to this new design, to this new and more powerful experiment. The person you were yesterday is not a blueprint for who you must be today. It is simply a lesson in what did not work. This is the art of adaptability. The inventor is not attached to any single prototype. They are only attached to the vision, and they will change, they will pivot, they will learn, they will adapt, they will do whatever it takes to bring that vision to life. You must be willing to let go of who you have been, to create who you will become. This requires a profound form of courage, the courage to admit that your old way was not working, the courage to be a beginner again, the courage to look foolish, to make mistakes, and to learn in public. But this vulnerability is the birthplace of all true invention. It is the fertile ground from which your greatest creation will grow. And so, you must fall in love with the process. You must find the joy not in the finished product, but in the building, in experimenting, in the act of creation itself. The inventor does not see their workshop as a place of labor, but as a playground. The laboratory is their sanctuary. And every failed prototype, every unexpected result, is a thrilling new piece of the puzzle. This is the mindset that sets you free from the tyranny of perfection. You are not trying to create the perfect, finished version of you in a single attempt. You are committing to a lifelong process of iteration, of growth, of invention and reinvention. The masterpiece of your life will not be a static statue, but a living, breathing, and constantly evolving work of art. This is the ultimate secret. The most successful, the most fulfilled, the most alive people on this planet did not find themselves. They built themselves. They were not born with a fixed identity. They forged one in the crucible of their choices with the raw material of their experiences. They had the courage to be the architect, the inventor, and the artist of their own soul. And now, that same choice stands before you. The search is over. The wild goose chase is done. The treasure map you were looking for leads to an empty chest because the treasure was never buried. It is waiting to be created. So, look at the raw materials of your life. Your passions, your curiosities, your pains, your strengths. These are your tools. Look at the blank canvas of this present moment. This is your workshop. And look at the vision in your mind's eye, that quiet, persistent whisper of the person you know you could become. That is your blueprint. The time for discovery is over. The time for invention has begun. What is the first experiment? What is the first prototype of the new you that you will build today? Will it be an act of courage? An act of discipline? An act of learning? It does not have to be perfect. It only has to be a beginning. The world is full of people waiting to discover who they are. Be the one who has the courage to decide. Stop discovering yourself. Start inventing yourself.